What can you foresee, or what can you imagine AI really adding in terms of value when it comes to fraud detection?
Yeah, I think that fraud relies, the ability to detect fraud relies on a firm's ability to kind of assimilate various different data forms to detect where frauds might take place. And quite often the fraudsters are almost ahead of the game. They're always testing new ideas. We know with cyber, for example, this is a huge area of kind of for a lot of fraudsters, of where they see opportunities to leverage kind of cyber attacks or utilize cyber attacks to their gain. And I think firms really have to be on their toes. I think what AI will do is hopefully will enable firms to detect those frauds far more quickly. We'll have access to real-time data more effectively than probably sort of the fraud teams in the various insurers do today. So I think that's where AI will really bring an advantage compared to where they've been in the past.
And behavioural pattern analysis obviously plays a huge part in that. How do insurers communicate AI decision transparently in terms of how, as consumers, we're engaging with AI, but also how they are using that in relation to the consumers?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I don't think that's been fully thought through yet around how we, and this is part of, as I said earlier on, the regulators are playing catch up.
Yeah.
So there will be a little bit of the insurers kind of waiting for the regulator to tell the insurers when they should and shouldn't tell the customer that was an AI-based decision. And do you have to do that if there's a human in the loop at the end of it that's validating a recommendation from AI as opposed to the decision, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
So I think we're on a bit of a journey. I think it wouldn't surprise me in the next year or two if you don't start to get some form of AI regulation in the insurance industry above and beyond what we have today. I mean, there's an umbrella set of regulation in the UK at the moment around consumer duty and ultimately delivering good outcomes for customers.
Yes.
How do you evidence that? And I think part of evidencing that what you've done is delivering good outcomes for customers will evolve to including how you've validated that any recommendation or decision made by AI has delivered a good outcome for the customer. What does the data tell you to prove that was the good thing ultimately for the customer?
Right, absolutely. No, that makes complete sense. We're talking about validation and human in the loop. One of the things that came out of the report was actually literacy, and how literacy in insurance can be incredibly low. How do we reconcile that low literacy with the need to have the human in the loop validating the decision? There's a little bit of a challenge there, it feels like.
Yeah, that absolutely is a challenge. And I think what we probably start to see over the next year or two is a huge amount of AI training courses being developed by lots of L&D firms and external firms to provide that understanding of literacy for boards and for leadership, let alone kind of other people within the organisation. So I think there's a huge demand now for AI training courses and etc. to teach the boards and the leadership what AI is, what the opportunities are, what the risks are associated with AI in the insurance sector. So I think that's it's a TBC. I think TV developed. Everyone, as you said earlier on, in the insurance sector, were a bit slower than others. I think that one of the things that we need to do more of around the literacy and some of the things you asked earlier on around accelerating the utilisation and understanding of AI in the insurance sector is to look at other industries. We're not very good, frankly, at looking at other industries. And if you look at the boards and the leadership of most insurance companies in the UK, the people that are on those boards have come from other insurance companies. Yes. Very rarely, if ever, have they come from other industries. When I was at Tesco, actually, they were pretty good at bringing in people from other industries into a retail environment to provide fresh, new thinking, particularly where industries are far more advanced in certain areas into the retail sector.
And I think AI is really kind of blurring those industry-specific capabilities lines, because AI works in the same way across all of those industries. So there's never
That's
been
right.
a better time, for those executives to look at those other industries and
Yes.
see what's been done, and throughout those education programs, really rethink how they're running their business and the operating models within those businesses.
Yes.
Now, thank you very much, Gary. One last question: if an insurance leader is watching this and wants to make a meaningful step in the next 90 days, what would that be?
I would say research AI, the utilization of AI in other sectors, identify where you can, where other insurers are using AI, and see what you can do to kind of replicate that. It's all about education, knowledge, research, partner with somebody who knows this stuff far better than you do, not just in the UK, but more globally, a firm like HTEC, so that you can build up your knowledge and understanding. And then beyond that, and it'll be part of the 90 days maybe, once you've got that understanding, is identify a specific problem that you're trying to solve for, that you think AI can help you out with, and test it and go in. And I know that's not going to ultimately overnight deliver your enterprise-wide AI solutions, but I think that's probably a bit ambitious for a lot of firms at this stage. But don't just sit there and wait to see what's happened. Get in there, learn about it, understand it, start to test it, and then look to kind of build that programmatic approach to AI in your insurance company. Because if you don't, frankly, you're going to get left behind in the same way as some firms were left behind with digital many years ago. They're going to get left behind if they don't embrace AI and in the organisation understand what it can do for you and for your customers.
Yeah, and one of the questions that we asked in the survey is, how long, if you don't have the right minimum level of maturity at the moment, how many years is that going to set you back competitively? And the average response was 2 years. And if you think the speed at which AI is moving, and there's all sorts of adoption taking place in different industries, 2 years is a very long time to try and play catch up.